So one of the most important things that's happened in decades, really, between Israel and America was moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. You're looking at Ambassador David Friedman. The day the embassy was opened in Jerusalem, it was remarkable. The diplomats were talking about it. Presidents were promising it, but they never did it. You know who did it? Ambassador Friedman's boss, Ambassador Friedman, did it in conjunction with President Trump. The State Department probably kicking and screaming every step of the way. Former Ambassador David Friedman in the Trump administration to Israel. Welcome, sir. We're so sorry about what's happening. Some developments over there. What are you thinking tonight?
I think on the one hand, this was the worst murder of Jewish people since the Holocaust. I mean, the events of a few days ago, horrific beyond words. The barbarism, the cruelty, the pain that's been inflicted on over 1,000 Israeli families. It's just indescribable. It's just so horrible. On the other hand, the Jewish people around the world are united as never before. The state of Israel is united as never before. People are rushing back. People who are Israelis from around the world are jumping on planes and running back to this country to serve in the armed forces. The acts of philanthropy and of kindness within this country now are extraordinary. And Israel's going to defeat Hamas. I mean, they have to. This is an existential battle by the state of Israel, not just against a ruthless terrorist group, but really against the forces of evil that we have no choice but to win. And when Israel wins, the world will be a safer place, and even the Palestinians who are themselves subjugated by Hamas will be in a better place.
Joe Biden today, finally speaking about Jews and anti-Semitism. He avoided that yesterday and the day before. Very strange. SOT 1, please, from Joe Biden.
One of the worst chapters in human history that remind us all that expression I learned from my dad early on: silence is complicity. Silence is complicity. It really is. And I want you to know, I think you've already figured it out, I refuse to be silent. I know you refuse to be silent as well.
All right. I don't think his dad came up with silence as complicity, for one. And he was silent on Sunday and Monday. Yesterday he spoke. He was silent about the Jews. He was silent about Iran. Gauge his leadership, if you would, and Iran's role in this. Number one, you suspect Iran, right? I mean, we know Iran was behind this, correct?
I don't suspect. I know. I know that Iran had its fingerprints on this. They managed, they planned, they orchestrated, they funded, they executed, they approved all of this. I mean, Iran is the head of the snake within the Middle East, and there's no question that they were all over this. We've appeased Iran for 3 years. There's this debate going on about whether or not the actual freeing up of $6 billion this past month, had anything to do with it, because that money apparently is still held by Qatar. It doesn't matter. Iran is a richer, more powerful nation than it was 3 years ago. They're selling almost 10 times as much oil in 2022 as they did in 2020. The $6 billion doesn't matter. They got plenty of other money in other pockets, and they're using that money for ballistic missiles, nuclear enrichment, and funding the line activity of Hezbollah, Hamas, and other terrorist groups.
The Abraham Accords, sir, you guys, I mean, you really turned things around in the Middle East in a lot of different ways, and things were normalizing over there. It seemed like for a while, and then the new team got in. Did Iran want to disrupt and attempt to ruin all of the work that the Trump administration did? Is that what's going on here, in part?
Yeah, especially when they saw that as a result of the Abraham Accords, we are now tracking towards a deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia, which would be, of course, anathema to the interests of Iran. So, look, they succeeded in slowing down all that normalization, because with this kind of a war going on, no one's going to be speaking about, advancing in a peaceful manner until it's over. Iran is, and look, it's not just Iran, it's Iran mostly, but it's also the fact that, our government has been funding the Palestinian Authority, which pays terrorists to kill Jews. They've been funding UNRWA, the United Nations agency, which, in their schools, kids put on plays where Jews are killed and parents applaud. I mean, it's a whole package of funding which together has lubricated the terrorist, infrastructure in a way that has now put Israel at great risk.
Ambassador Friedman, we need you back there as our ambassador or as perhaps Secretary of State. I mean, the world would be a lot better off, I think, with the Trump administration back in power. Thank you very much, sir. Very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.